So good morning everyone, my name is Johannes Marcel and today I will be presenting on overcoming the challenges of implementing the dual language program for science. Education today is about empowering students to think, communicate and compete globally. The dual language program or DLP is one of Malaysia's bold steps to achieve this goal by teaching science and mathematics in English. But like every major policy, the DLP success depends on how ready our teachers, students, and systems are to face the realities of classroom implementation. Over the next few minutes, I'll take you through main challenges, their causes and effects, and the strategies that can make DLP truly effective for science education in Malaysia. The DLP was officially launched in 2016 under the MBM-MBI policy, which stands for Upholding Bahasa Melayu and Strengthening English. It gives selected schools the option to teach science and mathematics in English. The intention was to balance our national identity with global competitiveness. However, when we look at the map of Malaysia, we can see that Sarawak actually implemented DLP earlier than several other states. This early adoption shows strong state-level commitment, but it also reveals regional disparities in readiness, resources, and teachers' training. This variation in rollout are one reason why DLP implementation outcomes differ so much across Malaysia. Understanding this contextual differential is vital before we analyze the specific challenges. The objectives of this presentation are fourfold. First, to critically examine the main challenges faced when implementing DLP for science. Second, to analyze their causes and effects, connecting them to real classroom experiences. Third, to propose evidence-based strategies that are practical and sustainable. And finally, to reflect on the implication of these challenges for teaching, learning, and educational policy. In other words, I will not only identify the problems, but also discuss how we can overcome them with strategic action. Science is a global discipline, and much of the world's scientific knowledge is published in English. Teaching science through English gives our students direct access to international resources, journals, and research, helping them engage with global scientific communities. The DLP also aligns with the Malaysia Educational Blueprint, which emphasizes bilingual proficiency and 21st century skill. When implemented effectively, DLP can bridge global scientific literacy with local educational goals, enabling our students to become more innovative, confident, and globally competitive. However, the key phrase is when implemented effectively. Let's look at what gets in the way. Many science teachers has deep content knowledge but limited experience teaching in English. They may understand the concept but struggle to express complex scientific ideas fluently in English. According to Hamid, nearly 70% of the LP teachers reported difficulty using scientific terminology confidently. This issue is more pronounced in rural schools, where opportunities for English exposure are limited. As a result, lessons often become teacher-centered, with minimal student interaction. Instead of promoting inquiry-based science, teachers end up simplifying content or switching languages, which can confuse students. The overall effect is reduced clarity, weaker student engagement, and lower confidence among both teachers and learners. To overcome this, we must empower teachers through systematic professional development. One effective model is Content and Language Integrated Learning, or CLIL approaches. This integrates language development directly into subject teaching, so a teacher learns to teach both science concepts and English skills simultaneously. Secondly, we can implement peer mentoring system where senior or more proficient DLP teachers guides newcomers. This mentorship promotes professional sharing and mutual support. Another strategy is micro-teaching with video reflections. Teachers record their lessons, reflect on language use, and receive constructive feedback. This strategy aligns with MOE Continuous Professional Development Framework, ensuring that teachers are supported not just at the start of the LP, but throughout their careers. In short, training plus reflection builds confidence, and confidence leads to effective science teaching.
For the explicit teaching of academic language proficiency by content teachers. Join me in putting your hands together and help me in welcoming Dr. Mourinho to the stage with a presentation aptly titled CLIL, the 4Cs and Generative AI, Innovative Academic Language Learning. Dr. Yo, the floor is all yours.
And many of you here were my former students. I kind of feel I'm on a family visit instead of a work trip. So thank you very much for having me. I'm so excited to meet all of you math and science teachers. As an English teacher, I am in awe of maths teachers because I cannot count, and science teachers. So thank you so much for joining me today.
The second challenge relates to students' English proficiency. Many students, especially in rural Sarawak, Sabah, and Kelantan, come from homes where English is rarely used. When science lessons are conducted fully in English, they often find themselves lost in translation. They may know the concept in Bahasa Melayu, but not in English equivalent. Hence the phrase, I know the word in BM, but not in English. Research by Ratisamy and Khalid shows that language barrier is the strongest predictor of low science performance under the LP. Students focus so much on decoding English words that they miss the underlying scientific ideas. This challenge affects classroom participation, confidence, and even exam performance. The most practical way forward is use bilingual scaffolding. Teachers can introduce new concepts in English but allow short explanation or discussion in Bahasa Melayu when necessary. Over time, English can be gradually take a stronger role. Bilingual keyword, charts, and dual language glossaries can help students build vocabulary organically. Technology can also play a vital role. Tools such as Kahoot, quizzes, and WordWall gamify learning and make vocabulary practice interactive. Teachers can incorporate videos, animation, and simulation. For instance, PhET science simulation, which provides visual context for abstract ideas. This digital support ensures that learning remains inclusive and engaging without sacrificing the long-term goal of English fluency in science. The third challenge concerns the availability and consistency of learning materials. In many schools, science teachers face a shortage of standardized English DLP materials aligned with the KSSR curriculum. According to Nordin and Aziz, teachers often spend excessive time translating or adapting textbooks on their own, leading to inconsistency between schools. A study by Unimas found that the readability level of the LP science textbook sometimes exceeded students' English proficiency level, making it difficult for them to comprehend the content. This situation widens the gap between the urban and rural schools and the burdens teachers with extra workload that could otherwise be spent innovating lessons. To solve this, Malaysia needs a national DLP science portal, a centralized platform where all the teachers can upload, share, and access verified resources. This portal could host bilingual lesson plans, PowerPoint slides, lab activities, assessment questions, and digital experiments. The idea is to promote collaboration across states. For example, teachers from Kuching could share digital lessons with colleagues in Perlis or Johor. By integrating these with platforms like Google Classroom, Canva for Education, or even Delima, the system ensures quality control and equitable access. A centralized hub will also reduce teachers' workload, maintain curriculum alignment, and encourage creativity, moving the LP towards a more sustainable model of resource sharing.
Delima Flix.
The fourth challenge deals with policy implementation and monitoring. Even though the LP is a national initiative, implementation is uneven across states and districts. Sarawak, for instance, was among the earliest adopters and has demonstrated strong leadership in the LP. However, in other states, implementation lagged because of delays in resource allocation and limited training opportunities. Weak monitoring at the national levels means progress is not measured uniformly. Without consistent evaluation, it becomes difficult to identify which schools are thriving and which need additional support. Over time, this creates inequality between DLP and non-DLP schools, and even between schools within the same state. Such inconsistency undermines the policy national objective of equitable bilingual education. The first step is to standardize DLP criteria. The ministry should define clear indicators of success, including teacher readiness, students' progress, and parental involvement. Next, the formation of district DLP monitoring committees can help supervise implementation on the ground. These committees will provide regular feedback, ensuring that challenges are addressed promptly rather than waiting for annual reviews. Finally, incentive can motivate schools to maintain quality. For example, recognition awards for schools that demonstrate excellence in DLP science teaching. These governance measures ensure nationwide equity and continuous improvement rather than fragmented success stories. So we have come to the reflection. Implementing DLP is not just a linguistic reform, it is a pedagogical transformation. Teachers need more than English mastery. They need strategies to integrate content and language seamlessly. My reflection from studying this topic is that true success lies in balance, balancing global English proficiency with local understanding, balancing policy with classroom reality, and balancing teacher autonomy and national standards. DLP, when done right, can transform Malaysian science classroom into spaces of bilingual innovation and curiosity. So let's summarize the discussion. Teacher readiness stems from limited training. The strategy is CLIL, that's continuous development. Student proficiency struggle with language barriers. The solution is bilingual scaffolding and digital tools. Resources lack standardization. The answer is centralized DLP resource hub. Policy suffers from inconsistent monitoring, and the remedy is stronger governance and equitable implementation. Together, these four pillars form the backbone of sustainable, effective DLP ecosystem. To conclude, the dual language program for science is a bold and necessary step towards equipping Malaysian students for a globalized future. Despite the obstacle, DLP has tremendous potential to improve English proficiency and scientific literacy simultaneously. The path forward requires collaboration among teachers, administrators, parents, and policymakers. With consistent monitoring, better training, adequate resources, and inclusive pedagogy, DLP can move beyond policy. It can become culture of excellence. Let us remember that our goal is not merely to teach science in English, but to help students think scientifically and communicate effectively in both languages. Thank you. The reference that guided this presentation include works by Hamid in 2020, Hashim Abdullah at 2023, Musa et al. In 2022, Nordin and Aziz in 2023, and the Ministry of Education Malaysia in 2016 and 2020, among others. This study collectively highlights the complex yet rewarding journey of the LP implementation across Malaysia.